Live on the scene. We got True Man False World, Guru, Vic Jr., Ty through himself. Today, we got a show about pitching. We're going to talk about some interesting things with this whole thing with pitching today. I'm here for this. Let's just get it going at the top. Vic, we got you off of the couch onto the scene. How are you feeling this evening, my good man?
Doing all right. I ain't come off the couch. Came off the street right now. Hustling, doing what I have to do on the streets. You know what I'm saying? So, but
we do here at the scene. We do not promote street usage. Go ahead.
Just happy to be on the screens again, man. Looking forward to a couple other things going on in the future here. So, but baseball talk, the first love right here.
And next, and we got our guy, the Ty through. He is in the building. Ty, are you there?
Oh man, I'm excited because my guy Victor Santana Jr. is here. And he rediscovered his love of baseball. Like, I thought he forgot about baseball. I thought he watched Major League and he was like, I'm done with baseball. And, he's here. So I'm like going to bring my best, A game because, he thinks he knows everything. And he knows a lot. He's a student of the game and he's a student of the game. But, Guru and I, we've been heard it now. So we're happy to have you, Vic. Guru, how are you, Mets? Vic, how are your Yankees? How are my Dodgers? Excellent. And I'll leave it.
All right. So with all of that being said, Jorge, man, just go ahead and end this and talk to the people.
Man, always got to blabber something about the Dodgers out of his damn mouth, bro. I'm tired of them. I don't even want to hear him no more. But, for him to shut up, we got to beat him. That's it. That's all I got to say. Let's get the show going. Let's talk about pitching.
So let's start today. Let's start at the top. Here's the first thing that I want to do. First thing is I want to get Jorge, I want you to kick off this conversation because I want this conversation to be organic and take on the life that it's supposed to. Unfortunately, we don't have Storms today for the pitching conversation. We can always do a part 2. But let's start with you. Let's pitch it. Let's start at the top. What are the things that we need to discuss this evening when it pertains to pitching for the people?
So if we're talking teams, obviously you want a good role. If you have the pitching to go with the offense, you're going to get there and you're going to win a lot of games. Now, if we're talking individually, as far as pitching goes, you're going to have at least to have what do we say all the time? At least three, 4, 5 pitches to constantly and good pitches to be a good successful pitcher, starting pitcher. That's why a lot of relievers aren't started pitchers because they only have 2 pitches that they can really rely on. And they're not that good of a pitcher, I guess, like pitches you can say, that where they can constantly throw it. So pitching, what I look for is somebody that has good stuff, good control, up, down, in or outside of the plate, and can locate their pitching. I mean, if you're looking at the pitchers, we always talk about, we're talking about Pedro, nasty fastball. And we're talking about, Rogers, Roger Clemens, that had just nasty stuff and just was overwhelming and was a presence at the plate. And then, on the other hand, we were talking about also Maddox. If you look honestly, I said, if you look in the dictionary and you see pitcher, you see Maddox, picture of Maddox, because he didn't throw hard, but he located his pitches and he knew what he was doing. He came with a plan on the hill and he knew what he was going to do and he knew how he was going to pitch against you and he executed that. That was his game plan. And the people in the box, they get paid too, but he was just better than most of them. That's what I look for.
So, Vic, what are some things that you like to look for? What are some constants for you when it comes to pitching?
Muted, my bad. Jesus. First and foremost, just control. Obviously, if you get to the MLB level, AAA, of course, AA. You gotta, obviously have the control. You see how nowadays, I mean, these guys are throwing, I mean, a lot of smoke, man. I mean, there's a lot of kids now reaching 100, anywhere from 98 to 102 miles an hour. But a lot of times they don't even know where they're throwing that ball. Alex Reyes of the Cardinals comes to mind. That's one kid right there that, I mean, has some serious heat, but control was an issue, besides the fact that he gets injured a lot. So, I mean, control is very important because once you have the control, you can locate, around the box. You're going to be able to be successful, a successful pitcher long term in the MLB.
So when Ty, when you get a chance, come off mute. The things that I look for, the most important thing is, for me, I'm looking for a guy that is dynamic in one way or another, right? And one of those ways that I'm looking for a guy to be dynamic is either with like location or with explosiveness, with the pop. As you know, they say the pop in the bat, with the pop of those hips that allow you to be able to get that whole torque and everything that you need for you to generate power on your pitches. And the hardest thing to hit in baseball is a good left-handed pitcher. Let me make sure I say that for you again, because the angle in which the ball is coming from is a total different angle than it is from a right-handed pitcher. If you notice, the guys that have some of the craziest mechanics sometimes when it comes to pitching is the left-handed guys. They have the sweeping motion. They have the up high with, it seems like an extended elbow type of release that you'll see from it as well. So it's just a lot of different things that you get from it. Why this is so dynamic is because imagine being able to see that, but then the guy still throws 95, 97 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So you're not only seeing the ball, you're seeing the entire motion. Some of that stuff is very, very intriguing. So we talked about some guys, of course, but things that make guys like for lack of better terms, as I segue into Ty, things that make Clayton Kershaw hard to hit are not only just when his location is on to go along with everything else. He's a very, very tough guy to go up and have an at bat against.
Mm-hmm.
He has more than one pitch that can get you out. Remember, I said more than one pitch that can get you out. That doesn't mean that he can't throw every pitch either. So let's start right there. Ty, as we transition over to you, how many pitches does the average pitcher have in their repertoire just to start for starters? Transition over to you.
So from what I've seen, usually it starts with 3. You have guys who have, of course, your 4-seam fastball. Usually there's a curve. Varies on, how, it's drops, because there could be, a 12-6 drop. You have your 3-9s. So it depends on, how they're throwing it and how it's delivered. And then that third pitch, most of the time it can be range from a sinker, a changeup, or a split cutter. It varies, but usually I see most pitchers have 3.
So shouts out to everybody in the comments. We appreciate you. Hey man, Ty came through. That ain't business casual, Ty. He came through with a khaki suit on, man. Well, with that being said, so Jorge, as we come back, we always talk about fastballs, right? Pause. But the reason why we talk about the fastball in general is because the fastball is the most common pitch that everybody knows. So let's get into some other pitches that are very, very big weapons for a lot of those guys that we talk about that are elite pitchers. Let's talk about some of those elite pitches, and let's start with, let's say, a curveball. What is the art of the curveball?
So the curveball, you're talking about, pose or opposite of a fastball. Fastball, you can range it anywhere from 96, 95, depending on how hard somebody throws, to 99, 100. You get a curveball in there. A curveball is a slower type pitch. Think of a ball that is coming out of the pitcher's arm, arcs up a little bit, and then drops straight down. depending how the pitcher throws it, or it can go straight and then drop. So you're taking the person's eye level, and the fastball, generally what it does, it either, when the person throws it, it either runs straight or it just runs straight, but it's going at a fast velocity to where it goes into the catcher's mitt really fast. What the curveball does, it gives it a little bit of a projection when it's coming straight at you. So it comes up and then drops. So what it does is when you're looking for the fastball, you're actually double clutching. You're waiting for the ball, and then by the time you swing, the ball goes right underneath your bat, and you just missed the ball completely. So think about, I guess you can say, is when you're, I guess kind of like when the ball's coming at you, you're trying to catch it in your glove, and you're seeing, instead of it coming straight into your glove, you're having it drop down into underneath your glove. So you're going to miss it completely. So for a batter to see that, and you really have, I believe, 0.8 of a second to decide what kind of pitch it is and if you're going to swing, it's completely hard. And that's why it's really hard to hit a ball on the major league level. That's why we say, if you're 3 of 10, you're a Hall of Famer, because if that's only the second pitch you're talking about, there's usually 5 pitches in all with the starting pitcher. You're going to have trouble to know what's coming.
So Vic, as we transition to you, now we talked about the fastball, the curveball. We haven't really talked about the different variances of the fastball, which we'll come back to that. But fastball, curveball, and then let's have fun with this. So what is the splitter, and when is it most effective?
Yeah, so the splitter is like a fastball, except that, for example, you have Mariano, who probably had the best splitter ever. Where if to a right-handed batter, he's a right-handed pitcher, so to the right-handed batter, you're talking about a fastball that's kind of tailing into your hands, and as opposed to the lefty, the fastball is kind of is tailing away from them. So he had a splitter that had a lot of movement, and so that's what, like, a lot of these pitchers at that level, the success comes from, again, location, but also how much movement, how much break that pitch has. So real quick, back to the curveball. I was watching when the Yankees were playing Tampa Bay last week. I think it was James Taylin, one of the newer pitchers that Yankees acquired, versus I forget the name who was pitching for Tampa Bay, but they both have very solid curveballs. But what was interesting is the Yes Channel does a very good job, having cameras on their grips and stuff like that as they're releasing the ball. And so with the curveball, you got a situation where you're gripping, see if you can see it a little bit, you're gripping the lace, basically 2 fingers, right? So the idea is to kind of throw it over, let it release, to have that dropping action that Jorge was talking about. With James Tylen, he holds his curveball with a finger up. So instead of the finger down, he had 1 finger up, right? So he would release it, and it would kind of come off his finger. Then the other pitcher had his knuckle up, right? So he had, with the finger putting force down into the ball here, and then you have the knuckle curve with the knuckle behind the ball. So they both had a solid curveball with amazing action. One had the grip like this, and one had the grip off of the ball, which was pretty cool. So, that stuff, I was always fascinated with the grips and stuff like that. Go ahead, Jorge, because I was going to get on
so with your different grips that you were showing, when you have it like this, what pitchers tend to do is when they throw the ball, not only do they bring it down, but they also snap their wrist. So they turn it like this. So that's when you see the movement of the laces kind of going like that. When you have it with one hand and you have it like that, like Vic was showing, can you show him the grip that you were showing them with the one? No, when he had his finger up, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So the reason why he does that, when he throws that, that's called the circle change. So when he throws it like that, you see a circle in the middle. The tighter the circle it is, the harder it is to hit. The looser the circle is when he throws it, a batter can see the circle being made as it comes, and they're like, oh, it's a curveball. So a hitter can see that and decipher that in 0.9 of a second and know that it's a curve, which is amazing.
Right, like you said, like so the trajectory, right? So the idea is when they throw in the ball, so the batters are always gonna look at the arm angle and stuff like that. So the pitcher's job is to keep a consistent arm angle with most of their pitches. So if the fastball is coming like this, but then the curveball is coming like this and it drops, that's where the better pitchers are going to be successful. Because if the batter, like you said, you're gonna see the spin on the laces, but also if you let the curveball go up and then it comes down, they're going to be able to identify that. The trajectory has to be kind of the same coming towards you with the faster pitches versus the off-speed pitches.
So can we show the grip for a splitter as well?
I forgot the grip for a splitter, bro. But I know with the four seam.
Ty got it right there.
Oh, okay. So I know the two seam. So you got the laces like this. I know the two seam was like this, the two seam fastball. So it might be similar. I got a smaller hand, so I would probably hold it here, right? But you see the guy. I mean, these guys are 6'5" and shit like that. They're gonna have like bigger hands, so they'll cover the seams, and then the four seam fastball is basically like this. You see the seams. They're gonna put their fingers over it, have a seam, finger. The other seam will be on the four seam fastball. It's like it'll be a tighter grip sometimes like that. So, I remember this stuff, obviously pitching in high school and the 1 year that I did at Division III baseball. But, and then, of course, I mean, these are all things you can also look up and stuff, see all the type of pitches that these guys throw and stuff like that on the internet as well. I know Garrett Cole has a phenomenal slider, but I heard he's also working on trying to get a cutter to his arsenal too. So that'll be interesting.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. Tag over here, Jeremy, if you don't mind.
Let's go. Come on. You in?
By gracious host, because I want to make it simple and kind of use some big names of and not get people confused as far as the splitter and the cutter, because they're very similar. Both are, as far as the splitter and cutter, are based on movement. Like you want to have that drop, whereas the splitter could be more of a higher speed, where the cutter could be more deceptive. Sometimes it depends on the pitcher. Like for instance, like some pitchers that have used splitters pretty well. Roger Clemens, like he used it very well. I think Otani from the Angels, current guy, his main strikeout pitch is a pretty good splitter. Coming at you like a fastball, but there's that drop, like that just leaves you like, what was that?
That's my bad, Ty. I meant to say the cutter for Mariano. The cutter was a little bit different, where it had that fast, like it would just cut into your hands. The splitter and the cutter do have some different movements and stuff like that for sure.
But they're very similar. So like the splitter is wider, your fingers are wider. Whereas the cutter is more your grip. And the only really big difference is the grip. And that's one thing that you want to, you want to have a pitcher who has great grip, great delivery, because you don't want a pitcher who's going to tip his pitches. Because that's what batters are going to look for, certain tendencies. Like, what are you going to do when you want to pitch your signature pitch or a certain pitch you think will, strike me out? Yeah. Like, are you going to have your elbow tucked in a certain way when you're delivering, your circle change, or are you going to have it a little bit out when you're going to come with the heat? So all these things, you look at tendencies, and that's something that
your glove, because like a lot of pitchers don't pay, especially young pitchers. They'd be like, all right, so fastball, boom, the glove is not going to move much because that's an automatic grip. But then if, like, let's say curveball, they're going to be seeing movement on your glove. They'll be like, oh, he's probably going to throw me an off speed now because now he's moving a little bit too much on the in the glove hand. Yeah.
And usually, like I said, these pitches, the cutter and the splitter, when you lose that speed on your four seam or your two seam fastball, when it's not the high 90s, and you want something that's a little bit more tricky, that's when you see a lot of guys use it later in their careers. For cutters, for example, like, Kenley Jensen, he relies on that cutter a lot, but his speed has dropped. Whereas earlier in his career, it was all, I'm coming at you with power pitches. I'm coming at you with the four-seamer. Now he's relying more on movement and location if he can control it, which he struggles with.
So let's talk about something else real quick. So we have a fastball, two seam or four seam. Okay.
Yeah. With the splitters and the cutters.
You got curveball, you got splitter, cutter. one pitch we haven't talked about yet is the sinker.
Mm.
Now, why I'm bringing up the sinker is because I believe that this pitch will pretty much just put into perspective how much each pitch has something similar to go along with it, because it has a certain grip that's going to be similar, but the purpose of it is different. So let's talk about this sinker. Would you, Jorge, you want to do it, or you want to jump back? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So similar to the curveball, the sinker kind of has a movement to where, think of a clock to where it's 12 and then it drops to 6, but it has a lot more of a drop, and the sinker is called a sinker for a reason, because it sinks out of the hitter's vision and right underneath their bat. So think about, like we were talking about, a fastball. Generally now a fastball in the major league is, let's say, a high number like 96, 97 for somebody that doesn't throw 100 or whatever. The curveball would generally be about, let's say, 92. That's 3 or 4 miles an hour, difference. And then the sinker would be thrown at 90, 89. So you're looking at something that's like 6 mile an hour difference from your fastest or your hardest pitch, or 7, depending on how hard you throw. And the sinker's action is meant kind of like the curveball, where it's coming straight at you, but then it just completely drops and disappears. So
it's like a faster curveball.
Exactly. It's like it's a faster curveball or a harder curveball. Meant, think of them throwing a bowling ball and just dropping off the plate, like just dropping. And it'll be something to where a batter, where they're looking for is to lift up the ball. But what'll happen is, let's say this is the bat and this is the ball, they'll hit it with the bottom of the bat, and they'll induce a ground ball. That's why a lot of sinking pitchers are ground ball pitchers, because that's just tends to happen, because the batter swings over the pitch instead of swinging level with the pitch, and they'll ground out.
The key is, though, like a lot of pitchers don't have a sinker because of the velocity that is required for it. So again, the sinker is almost like a faster curveball. But again, when you're throwing something with that much velocity, it's going to tend to go straight with a little bit of movement. You know what I mean? So like a lot of pitchers, if they have a curveball, they probably don't have a sinker, because it's two different grips, and it's two different velocities. So, and also the other thing is how much pressure you put on each finger. Some guys, like I said, when I show with the curveball, you have one guy putting pressure down on the finger here, and you have one guy that had all his pressure in the middle. And so all of that stuff, man, like these guys, believe it or not, baseball, they watch a lot of film too. The batters, they got to watch a lot of film on how the pitchers throw their balls and stuff like that. And even the pitchers have to watch film on some of the tendencies that the batters have to pitch around them. So, baseball can be a film-oriented sport as well.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing when, well, for me, as a batter goes, you have to know the pitcher's tendencies, because you're going to know that pitcher is going to want to throw not his favorite, but the pitch that he can locate the most in a tough situation. So if that's a fastball and he relies on this fastball and he throws his fastball, let's say 35% of the time, that more than likely you're going to get the fastball. That's why when you're a batter, you kind of wait for a fastball, but you adjust to anything else, because like we're talking about, every pitcher, every pitch kind of goes off the fastball, because the fastball is a common pitch. Every pitcher throws it. Now, whether you have your second or third pitch going, that's something completely different, because you can have a good night when you have those going. Now, if you don't, that's when you tend to go more with your fastball, and the hitter is sitting on the fastball instead of the second or third pitch.
So Ty, as we come back to you, we talked about how the bottom of the bat produces obviously ground balls. So hitting the top of the bat will obviously produce pop-up or fly balls. The objective is always to have a flush baseball and bat. Why? When you see that and you hear that sound, it's the crispest sound in the game of baseball when somebody gets the whole thing. When they get the whole thing, and that's when that's when you hear the crackle, that's when you know it's probably going 400 feet. That means they smoked it.
And most of the time, these batters are not even swinging the heart, because like Josh Storms, I think, category said, our last show, you're not swinging with the most force. It's all about contact. So like Jorge said, or just a few seconds ago, with the sinker, you're trying to not have strong contact. You're having weak contact. You're not going to get that nice pop. Because most of the time when you hit a home run, you feel it, it, because it seemed effortless. If you ever hit a home run before, or just got a good strong contact on the ball and felt it was going to go the distance. Now, I'm not saying I'm a power hitter. I'm not saying I've hit a lot of home runs in my time, but anybody knows, if when you hit a home run or you get a good one, you feel it.
That's why a lot of the home run hitters, obviously the more professional ones that have done it forever, they say they could see their home run coming right when the pitcher lets go of the ball. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, this is. I mean, it's just like this instinct. It's the feeling that once that ball is released, they're like, oh, I got this one, and it's, they feel it right off the bat immediately.
Absolutely.
You can see their eyes light up. Their eyes get huge. They're like, oh, this is it. They just know.
Boom.
They know they have to have strong contact.
Mm-hmm. Contact is it's a contact sport. If you don't get the better your contact, the better chance you got to make a hit or to have an influential hit. Some of the best at bats don't always result. And that's another thing. Some of the best at bats against good pitching don't result in a hit or somebody getting on base.
Finding a lot of pitches.
Some of the best at bats is just you taking pitches and allowing people to see everything that the pitcher is throwing. So if you see that a guy has all his pitches working and you're hitting the fastball, and then you come back and you find a way to fight off that curveball, then you're fighting off the splitter, and you mess around and you fight off the cutter. It's like, wait, he fighting off every pitch I have.
Yep.
And then that's when you probably get the four-seamer that you get your eyes to go like this. And then you get the, bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Oh, Chevy to the left. Oh, my bad. But that's what you get. So as we go to the next part of this, because we're gonna actually make this a simple one this evening. This is pretty much just wanting to talk about some pitching. But is there anything else that we need to discuss, or do we just want to wait and get category for the rest? Think this is enough to leave them with tonight?
We didn't talk about one pitch. We didn't talk about the slider.
Oh, of course we didn't talk about the slider. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get the slider in.
I threw a nasty slider back in the day, bro.
Listen, your dreams don't count, all right? So the slider moves kind of like the curve, but instead of it moving on the clock from 1 to 6, it moves from 3 to 9. So it's more of a sweeping action across the plate instead of a downward action on the plate. So think about somebody throwing from their sidearm, because if you throw it sidearm, you have a tendency more of throwing a slider because of the way your release point is, and it comes across the plate and sweeps. And what it does, and it's intended to, is for the batter to swing. Let's say this is a bat, the pitch comes this way, and the batter swings and just completely misses the ball because it avoids the bat. It's way too far out off the plate to where they're just not going to hit it. That's what the slider is intended for. Now, the slider is also an off-speed pitch, or it can be an off-speed pitch, meaning it's worked off of the fastball. So depending on their fastball movement, whether it's a sinking fastball or a two-seamer or whatever, the slider is just the opposite movement to where it gets, or a similar movement to where it just gets the hitter thinking, what's coming at me? That's what the slider's for.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we got the two-seam fastball, the four-seam fastball. We have the curveball. We have the splitter. We have the sinker. We have the cutter. And we have the slider. Those are the pitches that you will see from the average pitcher every day in the MLB. Mm-hmm. Every pitcher has something that they like to throw. Every pitcher can throw a fastball. Let's be common. Let's make sure we understand the fastball is the most common pitch. So with that being said, that's how you can understand. Most time when you see these guys that they get a lot of contact and those type of things, those guys that get a lot of contact, most times they're fastball pitchers. A lot of these guys, a lot of these other pitches are not meant for contact. They're meant for swinging and missing and minimal contact. The fastball is pretty much meant for you to blow it by him or is going a long way. Just that simple.
Well, what's interesting about the slider, Germ, is that the bottom finger this time is a little bit different. I mean, so you know how you're gonna hold the ball here, right? You see the thumb. Obviously, dudes with bigger hands, they're gonna hold it under here. I'm saying, so they're gonna release that like that, have a little bit of a sliding action side to side.
Yeah. Also, with the slider, what if you can develop a good one? Look at and pay attention to the flick of the wrist, the snap. So, if you have I'm gonna name some pitchers here that had great sliders, and this is how you know if I have or I'm scouting somebody and they have a really elite slider. You are thinking of names like Zach Greinke when he was an AL winner. He had a good slider in that year going for him. Clayton Kershaw has a decent slider, but here are bigger names. Randy Johnson. You have him, who's probably best known for getting many strikeouts with a very, very lethal slider. David Cohn was another guy. And Bob Gibson, he had a great slider as well.
So as we transition the conversation, those are the things there that we wanted to do to start with the pitching conversation. So now that we've given you the basic pitches, then we're going to go into a lot more details of some other things. We'll do that at another date. Let's cover the action around the league for the most part right now, for all of the people out there, because that's going to be a big part of this. We got some things to talk about, a couple of things here. The first thing and the most important thing here to talk about, to be all the way honest, is we have some teams that are just kind of all over the place. And we got some teams that are sliding, some teams that are flying, teams that are doing too much. But all I know is it's crazy to think where we are right now currently in this season. The Oakland Athletics started the season off 1-6. They are currently 12-7, and they've won 11 in a row. They are the hottest team in baseball. I remember going into that weekend, I said this second series against the Stros is really going to be important for them. You can't get your ass kicked 2 times in a week by the same team like that and then build confidence moving forward. Well, they lost the first game and they haven't lost since. They were 1-7 and rattled off 11 in a row. Fellas, let's just start right there. The Oakland A's, the hottest team right now currently in the majors. What have been some things that you've seen that have changed for them just that fast?
Good hitting.
As we welcome the ghost of Dennis.
I was like, who that for a minute? I was like, who that? Who that?
No chance, my ghost.
So, Ty, let's start with you because I know you want to slander the Stros, but to be in fairness, let's first, before we slander a team, let's talk good about another team. What are some things that you noticed that have been the difference for the A's?
Dennis already said it, but they figured out how to put runs on the board. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Today, didn't they put up 13? Against the Twins?
They put up 13 today, but they've had some nail biters too that they've done some things with too.
Of course, they're figuring out how to close games. I mean, they gave the Dodgers a run for their money when they put up the Dodgers, and then they came back right after the Dodgers and trashed your Stros. So it points all to like putting runs on the board. Because it's not their pitching. I definitely will say that it's not their pitching that's doing it. It's just that, the bats figured it out and, give credit where credit is due as far as for their lineup, producing runs and taking advantage.
Yeah, they got like 4 guys hitting over 300 during this streak. Well, I mean, you got your guys hitting like that and in a week, like, 2 weeks, time limit like that. You got guys hitting 400 time. we can win some baseball games, especially right now.
Vic, as we
Yo,
transition to the next thing, are you more disappointed with the Astros at this stage? Or are you kind of like, you know what? It's the first part of the season. I really don't care. Let's see what happens as we continue to go through the season.
I mean, Jern, like right now I'm a Yankee fan and look at what they doing, So I mean, like so how can I be disappointed in the Stros when the Yankees obviously I'm going to be paying attention to a little bit more. They're playing like the way they're playing. But it's 162 games, right? So you would expect that both these teams are going to get it together. So obviously I think, both sides, both teams are pitching is struggling. They might have to make some changes there. Will the Stros have to call up Forrest Whitley, their AAA pitching phenom right now? They're going to have to call him up and help that pitching staff out. Let's see what they're going to do. Some of those things are going to start happening as the season gets along. Who's going to be doing well in the farm, in the farm to get it up to the major league roster? Because, the Yankees right now, they need some help with Severino, coming back soon too. So, but I expect those teams to kind of settle and be in the race at least at the end of the season.
Yeah. To pick up on your Yankees point, even though, we need Severino to get back and get healthy, the offense has really been struggling. It's been bad.
Yeah.
Yankees offense is bad.
So
you wouldn't expect that.
Right.
So here's my problem with the Yankees offense. First of all, I don't like your lineup.
Terrible. It's a terrible lineup. To be honest, it's a terribly constructed lineup. Yes, it's a terribly constructed lineup.
Your top three hitters, if they don't hit, you might as well go home. It doesn't make a difference. Judge should not be the second hitter in your lineup.
And
I shouldn't be leading off.
Yeah, I get what they're trying to do, Germ. It's what they're trying to do is they don't have like what you call a pure leadoff man, somebody that's gonna slap the ball around, get on base, and steal some bases. They don't have that luxury, which they need to start.
Leadoff? Is it LeMahieu?
Yes.
Yeah, LeMahieu. Yeah, they need to invest in that situation. But like you said, Judge batting second. I see what they're trying to do. It's the on base percentage that he provides, because a lot of pitchers are still kind of scared to pitch to him. But I still feel like he needs to be brought down a little bit in the lineup. And not only the Yankees don't have a pure number one, they don't even have a pure number three, to be honest with y'all. It's a great, powerful lineup, but they don't even have a pure number three. Somebody that not only can hit home runs, but can he get on base? Can he change his swing for contact, to move runners around? That's what a number three hole hitter is supposed to be. And the Yankees haven't had that for a while. They were expecting Glaber to be there. And Glaber, every time he swings, he looks like he's trying to hit it. Like, bro, you're not going to hit it as far as Stanton is hitting the ball. You're just not going to do it. So, like, they need to work on him. He is probably the best pure three hitter that they can groom, because when it comes to Judge and Stanton, it's power or nothing. Judge a little bit better he's probably a little bit better of a hitter, can get some doubles, can hit the ball both sides of the field. But Stanton, man, I told Jorge this offline. I think that signing or trade or whatever they did was worse. Yeah, it was worse than I felt worse about that one than when they went after A-Rod. At least A-Rod is a legendary player. Stanton, to me, man, that dude, when he does not see the ball, and we're talking about curveballs and stuff like that, if he does not pick up the curveball, he looks like a high school player.
Pedro Serrano.
Bro, the bat be here and the ball be like 3 feet under the bat. Like it's yeah, I'm over it, man. Like these dudes, I make this bet with Jorge. We're gonna make it public. I made this bet with Jorge. Just for the hell of it, you know what I'm saying? I'm making some of that market money. I could give him some stocks and stuff like that. But the Mets should be able to have a better record than the Yankees at the end of the season, man. They should. They should.
You're only 2 weeks in and you're already giving up? I love it. I love it.
No, I'm not giving up.
Your soul is shattered right now. I love it.
But I'm not giving up, but I'm just being realistic. We don't have a pure 1. We don't have a pure 3. At least the Mets now have done the moves that they need to make to get a well-balanced baseball team. The pitching is outstanding. And the lineup, they have players that they can put at 1, 2, 3, 4 holes and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're just not hitting right now. But to go, I understand. What are they hitting stand right now? They're hitting stand 4 right now?
Yeah,
3.
they got no, he's hitting, is he hitting 3? I think he's hitting 4, bro.
He's hitting 3. The lineup, the lineup today was LeMahieu, Judge, and Stanton.
And who is it?
Because they've been hitting. They were hitting
Ursula.
Hicks.
Ursula?
Yeah.
Nah,
and
so
Hicks
it must
bounced around.
have changed around because Hicks hasn't been terrible. He started off the year as the number 3 hitter.
Hicks is actually like 6th in the lineup as of today.
Yeah, he's
As
been
of
bad.
Okay, so
Let me give you perspective. Let me give you perspective on how bad things have been with the lineup this week. So Hicks started out on the 17th, he was batting 3rd. 17th and 18th, he's batting 3rd. Come yesterday, he was, not really in the lineup. And then today, he's batting 6th. Like, what's going on?
wow.
I mean,
I think it's good that they got Voigt coming back soon. That's going to help a lot.
All against right-handers. It wasn't like there was a switch between righties and lefties. They were all right-handed pitchers that in a week, and there's been that much change. You have Stanton, who's flipped around between 3 and 4. The lineups, if you look at this just for a week, so many changes, and it's like, what are you doing?
I've never been a big fan of Boone. I thought Girardi should have been extended. I have no idea what happened there.
I didn't know. I'm with you, Vic.
As a matter of fact, I remember. Yeah, I remember us talking about. We talked about 3 years ago already.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, when Boone came in, I mean, I don't like the lineups. I never was a fan of Judge batting second.
They said they felt that Boone was better with the analytic numbers and all that type of stuff. But we saw with Girardi was making results with guys that we weren't expecting that from.
Old school.
You know what I'm saying?
Ever since he's been gone, look at what's going on with Sanchez. So I think that plays a factor.
Yeah, play. Yeah, good example.
I would separate them in the lineup because having Stanton and Judge back to back, they're power hitters, but they also can also be got, meaning strikeout, back to back strikeouts.
Well, for the most part they have been separated between 2 and 4. If Stanton is batting 3 now, that's something brand new. Believe me, he's always been batting 4th or 5th in the lineup.
Yeah. Then
So,
with Glaber, he's struggling.
Glaber's awful right now. La Ghost, he's been bad, bro. He's been bad. Again, he had 2 years ago. He was looking like the prospect that they believed he can be from the Chicago system. He was developing into a guy that you can put in at your 3 hole. Right now, he's they all been bad. They all been really bad.
And now that we've got this Yankees portion out of our system,
my bad.
let's go to some more pressing needs in baseball.
Yes.
Let's go to more pressing needs in the game of baseball.
Yeah.
So the Red Sox are currently the number 1 in the AL. It looks like altogether. They are currently number 1 in the AL overall, 12-6. I don't understand it. It looks stupid to me. I don't expect this to last. No. The A's are second, followed by the Mariners at the 3. So if the playoffs started today, I just want y'all to know that we would have the Royals, the Red Sox, the A's, and the Mariners. Are they still doing that extended playoff thing, or was that just COVID?
No, I don't think they are. I think they just do.
Okay, good. Four is enough.
So the wild card would be Seattle right now versus Tampa Bay. So that means that the White Sox wouldn't even be in it.
It's crazy.
We're talking
The
about
The Red Sox have been surprisingly good, man. Like they getting good stuff out of Evaldi and a couple other pitchers, man. I've been surprised with them.
we're talking about 3 teams that we were not expecting to be in the race at all to be in the playoffs.
Just to give you a perspective on the Red Sox and how they're doing it, it's coming on the road. They've only lost 1 game on the road. Like they're 6-5 at home, 6-1 on the road. That's doesn't make any sense at all.
So what you're basically saying is fluke. Got you. Cool. So the NL, right? Over here on this other side of the diamond. Yeah, the Dodgers are 14-4.
Germs, don't play me, man. Don't play me, man.
Hey man,
We gave Vic and Dennis like 30 minutes of Yankee talk. Let me get at least 25.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Whoa. You're getting 25. You got 2. No, I'm just go ahead.
Man, I'm going to sleep.
But I mean, look, right now, I mean, do we need to say it? They're the best team in the game right now.
They definitely
Thank you. That's all I ask.
I look, I'm just not a hater. I call it like it is. I mean, they're the best team right now in the majors, and it's really not even close. Like
Still
it's
undefeated
literally
at
the
home.
Dodgers, and then everybody else is just playing baseball, assumingly just trying to get to the World Series.
What are the Padres doing, bro? That's disappointing.
Okay, so the Padres are 500. The Padres just got blanked by the Brewers, 6-0.
But the Brewers have been
Is there-
ass off though, man.
Is there
You know what?
a
They got great pitchers from Musgrove the other day, and they still lost, man. They didn't even have Yelich in the lineup. That's the thing. Couldn't get 2 runs.
Is the Brewers pitching that has them in the first place right now? Their ERA is 2.71. They're third in all of baseball.
Who was the first 2?
The first 2 are the Padres and the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
The Padres at 2.5.
Are you serious? The Padres are at 2 and they're 10-10.
They're first.
They're not getting the offense.
Man,
Don't forget, like I said last show, the reason why they haven't been playing well is because Tatis hasn't been in the lineup. He was hurt.
Tatis ain't 5 games. They ain't 5 games difference here.
Well,
He is for the Padres.
Yeah.
And that ain't good.
It's like when he's out there, they all just hit. He gets them going, man. I don't.
Yeah, no, you can't get somebody off the lineup like of that caliber, bro.
yeah.
That again, it's the balance. It's the balance. The balance is very key to these lineups. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Is there like an MLB show curse or something? Because how you gonna hurt so fast in the beginning of the season? Like
I mean, well, you said
the game just came out. The game just came out yesterday.
I'm just being honest. Tatis was in the lineup, and I seen what the play he got hurt on, and it was on offense. That's all I'm trying to say.
You got to call out Manny Machado though too. Manny Machado has been off to a little bit of a slump, starting the season. So if he picks it up, there'll be signs of life.
I know.
I told y'all since last year, I like Manny Machado, but he's that type of player that he needs somebody to help him out, and that other person is Tatis. If Tatis is not in that lineup, it's not gonna happen. I told y'all.
He's not that guy. He's not the guy. He's the supporting cast.
What was the order?
He's the supporting actor.
What was the order? Are they 3-4?
They're third. The Giants are second.
No, I'm saying like what were they batting when a typical Padres lineup? Is Machado and Tatis 3 and 4?
I'm about to. I'll give you the. Hold on.
Generally, I think
Yankees just lost another one.
Who?
The Yankees just lost another one to the Braves, 4-1.
No, y'all. You guys won, didn't you?
No, we lost 4-1.
Oh.
One stinking run.
This man says stinking. So Machado bats third.
Tatis second.
Tatis is second.
They put Tatis at a 2-hole?
Yes.
Is that because he's fast, steal some bases, base percentage?
Fast.
Pretty much. Anytime you're fast, you're normally batting in the top part of the lineup, regardless. unless
And I
you
think
have
Hosmer
certified
goes
guys.
third, fourth.
Hosmer is fourth.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far as fifth, the right fielder.
Myers.
Y'all need to stop playing Manny Machado. Like that's show some respect to the third pick overall. Okay.
Man, just because he was a Dodger.
Hey,
doesn't
you
mean
said that while playing in your hair. That don't count. Don't do that no more on the show.
You seen that? You seen that, right?
Yeah, I seen that.
You seen that?
You saying that while playing in your hair. I don't believe nothing you said.
Because I can't with y'all. I can't with y'all. Like I can't.
Yo, you said you want Dodger
Man,
time.
said-
Talk about the Dodgers. What else? Entertain me. When we talk about the Yankees, it's entertaining, Ty.
No, it's
Entertain me, bro.
Nobody's
Whenever we
listening. Nobody cares.
talk about New York, it's entertaining. Cuz talk to me, man. Get me.
I just like to see you being hurt there, Vic. I love it. 'Cause it's the Yankees.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all see that greatest? Y'all see that greatest behind Vic number 2? Y'all see that?
Yeah. They
we
need a
don't.
captain. I thought Judge was gonna be the next captain. He ain't captain and shit.
We don't, because his big ass head is blocking it.
Right here. I love you,
There you
G.
go,
I
right
miss
there.
you. I miss you, G.
Man, we miss the captain, brother.
We miss you,
the
Cat.
captain.
We miss you, Cat.
Okay, so Cap Rooney, we miss Cap Rooney. So with that being said, I guess the one thing that we have to just make sure that we understand is moving forward. First of all, Jorge, the Cubs couldn't even score a week ago, and they didn't put up like
God.
10. They didn't put up 16 runs or so on the Mets,
2 games.
and it's not even two in the 2 games.
Well, put it this way: the Mets have six errors in 15 innings.
Terrible.
Damn.
Yeah. So
I thought getting boy was gonna shore up y'all defense a little bit.
Who's got the errors? Lindor, the Prince of Puerto
Throw
Rico.
the whole NL East away. I said it last week. I'm saying it again. Throw the whole NL
So
East.
check this out. Y'all want to know who got the errors? Lindor only has 1 error.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We're talking a situation where Davis has 3 by himself.
Who Davis?
Oh wow.
Yes.
He had
I'll
2
throw
days.
to first base, by the way. He can't throw
He
to
has
first base
3
anymore.
errors, bro.
Who's Davis? Who's Davis? What Davis?
What's his
our
first
third-
name?
He's our third baseman, JD Davis. That's his name.
Bruh.
Oh.
JD
There's some
Davis
highlights I
has
can show you.
3 errors, bro.
Well, that's add 1 from yesterday, so that's 4 in 2 games. Yeah.
So
Even Altuve was like, "Damn, homie."
You used to be the man, homie.
hey, so wait. So you having fun, huh, Ty?
I'm living my best life.
Please. Remember last year, please. You know,
Roll the clip. I don't care. Roll the clip. Go ahead. I'm famous.
so with that
Viral.
being said,
he's sitting up there right now, Jerem. They're 14-4.
that
so,
man got on a khaki suit while you sit over there talking. Man, it was a pitch black night.
Like lady on vacation.
Hey man.
This dude.
Let's
Hey,
see.
man, I just hit the east side on the LBC on the trying to find Mr. Tie Through T.
Straight from the AZ.
Yeah, I see. So I guess as we get ready to wrap up the show here, Vic. Janky, dude. This dude,
I hate this
janky,
dude,
man.
yo.
This is an
As we
inside
get ready to
joke.
wrap up the show, Vic.
I can't stand you.
I think we should give a prediction, right? We're close to the power rankings time here at the Dish. So let's say let's give a week prediction. By this time next week, what team will make a move, whether it be good or bad? Everybody pick one team. I'm going to start with you, Dennis. One team, up or down, who is it?
Padres.
And where they going?
They going up. They just got back. They just got back. The kid back. I think they'll start making some moves going back up.
Safe pick.
I know, right? He likes to insert. You say, listen, I ain't gonna even do it. I ain't gonna do this today. Ty, for you, team that's going up or down.
You know what? I think the Cardinals will figure it out. And their run differential is not that bad. They've just lost a couple of close games, and they'll be back on top of the division shortly.
Vic, team going up or down. You say the Yankees, I'm slapping you.
I'm avoiding the Yankees. I'm gonna say the Astros. I think the Astros will get it together.
Oh, okay.
Make a few call-ups on something, that strong farm system they have, and they'll pick it back up.
You still can't leave for another 3 minutes. And then Jorge.
I'll give you one for each. I'll give you one that's going down. I think the Brewers are going to go down, and one that's going to come up. I think the Angels are going to take over first place.
The Red Sox are going to go down. Damn it.
Oh goodness.
Overachiever.
Hey, just to comment on something. I know Ty was talking about the Cardinals. Everybody's on the Arenado watch.
Arenado watch? Well, when he's gonna stop hitting? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, so far he's hitting. He got 4 homers with 10 RBIs. He's batting 265. His OPS is 8. His OPS though is 815. That's not Arenado. This is a guy that's always been over 900, close to 1,000.
What we say last week? The splits. I think the split
splits
started off hot, but he's gonna cool down.
Yeah,
He's not gonna hit as many home runs, and he's not gonna drive in as many. I don't think.
Right.
My team that I'm picking, they're going up. Give me the Reyes. Let me bring back the Reyes energy. The Reyes are gonna go up, and they're gonna end up being number 1 in that division. That's my pick for next week. So with that being said,
the Yankees, we sure can't beat them.
Man, look, that's the most pathetic thing I ever seen in my life. If I ever seen something, every time they play them folk, it's like 4-3, 4-4, 10-4. The one day it was 4-0. I was like, so y'all couldn't even hit? It's bad.
Yankees are Paul Walker and Fast and Furious with the Rays. Dude, I almost had you every time.
Well, with that being said,
let's go.
I can't.
That being said,
hey,
this
is like
the
meme
dish.
I showed y'all the other day.
You said what?
It's like the meme I showed y'all the other day. The Yankees, the Knicks are winning. What did it cost us? The Yankees.
Look, all I can say is we gonna figure this thing out as we go with the Yankees, because until they get a leadoff hitter or a 3-hitter, I don't really see it. Vic said it. I was gonna try to get to it, but Vic beat me to it. The Mayhew is a 2-hole hitter or later in the
Can I ask y'all
lineup.
something?
Yes.
Can I ask y'all something?
Go ahead.
Did you notice like the last couple of years, the Yankees actually played better with, like it seemed like they played better with Stanton and Judge wasn't in the lineup?
You know why? Because it was no focus on the almighty home run. It was focused on just getting on base.
Bingo.
And there lies the difference in why I say I like NL play better than AL play with these damn ugly ass DH hitters. And I said it, and I'll say it again.
And he meant it.
Give me NL style, get on base, move runners over, and score from hitting any day over this crapshoot that we see in the AL.
I disagree, dog.
Because I think the DH is coming to the NL next year. So
well, they bring it to the NL. I may just not watch baseball until it comes down later to the year.
Shout out to Gary.
I hate the DH. I hate the DH.
Can't disagree with him.
Germ Sheffield.
Imagine
Germ Sheffield.
Imagine getting paid $35 million to hit for 3 hours a day.
Where do I sign up?
Your name is Juan Carlos Stanton. Is your freaking name, bro? You're pathetic.
I mean,
Because let
Pathetic.
Nelson Cruz be great.
Hey, it used to be Mike Stanton before he went to Chicago.
Mike Stanton.
I mean, can I get half of that just to play left or right bench? I mean, I'm straight with that.
Bro.
Look, I'll take $1 million a season just to chew gum and spit out sunflower seeds. Like, what you mean? Uh-huh.
No,
So with
Jerem,
that-
head to Milwaukee and do the hot dog race.
Every time you get a camera shot, you see you grab your crotch. Every time the camera look.
Mhm. Or refolding or adjusting my leg as I chew on my chewing gum. Y'all got me,
Bro,
y'all got me messed up.
Like he's so bad defensively that when they go to play the NL at an NL park, he might get benched. Like that's how bad he is.
He is horrible in the outfield.
I love it. Keep going. Keep talking about
I thought like Canseco was bad.
So with that being said, make sure that you guys are following the great Dish channel that we have here. We have The Dish Scene on Instagram, The Dish Scene on Twitter, The Dish also on the Facebook page, and of course, make sure you guys are following The Scene. That is the.scene on Instagram, scene_the on Twitter. For all of my folks on Twitch, the_scene. And then, of course, YouTube. This is the channel here, THE, capital SCEN, capital T, and all caps with the scene, and the capital S, capital C, capital E, capital N, scene on Facebook. Woo! Let's go. Make sure y'all get there. Be there or be square. But right here, it's all about that diamond. Throw your diamonds up. It's the Rock, baby. We out, y'all.
It's the Rock.